Holistic connection. Let's heal. Holistic connection. Let's learn. Holistic connection. Let's grow. Holistic connection. Let's be real.
Hello, everyone. This is PamelaTopjian, your host for Holistic Connections, Conversations with Holistic Practitioners. And the holistic practitioner we're talking to today is Dr. Tamar, say your last name?
Shtrambrand.
Shtrambrand. Okay, thank you. And I want to welcome you to the show today and ask you to share a little bit about who you are and what you do in the holistic healing space.
Okay. Professionally, I'm a licensed psychologist in the state of New York. I have a private practice. I split it between doing psychotherapy, which is typically telehealth, although I do go into the home for some people if they live close enough. And I also branched out recently into starting to do diagnostic autism assessments. Which is a new venture, and I'm really enjoying it and learning from it a lot. And I'm also a wife and a mom. And before this, I had actually a 20-year career as an occupational therapist, and I worked in school settings with children with severe developmental disabilities, especially autism.
Great, great. So you also internal family systems and brain spotting and some other more holistic things that you're integrating into your practice?
Yes, I have an eclectic approach. I know that modality-based and picking your modality is a popular thing, and not just in psychology or mental health, but also in medicine and other healthcare fields.
Yeah.
But in psychology/mental health, I feel that we cannot take behavior, which is based on a person's experiences, and we're dealing with the person's soul, not with just the body. So I believe that it's good to be trained in a number of modalities and to pick and choose which modalities to use. So right now I'm trained in internal family systems and brain spotting. I do have some coursework that I eventually want to do in somatic therapy,
Okay.
as well as mindfulness and maybe cognitive processing therapy. But I tend to draw from everything that I know when I'm working with a
Yeah.
person.
Yeah. Do people come to you and say, okay, I want this or I want this out of your services? Or do they come to you with an issue or with goals, and then together you kind of decide what's going to be best for this client or this patient, or follow the how it's going with what you feel might help them the best?
I'm
Kind of.
not typical compared to a lot of psychologists. I know that they say that you should specialize in one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a few areas that I brought it down to that I specialize in as far as a niche, but
Mm-hmm.
usually when people come, they really don't know what they want the focus to be. And
Yeah.
we work on it together. We collaborate, and I'll give them ideas. I'll explain to them what modalities I think would work, and what modalities in combination with the modalities I think would work. And then we devise a plan together.
Mm-hmm.
So we decide how we want the path to go. And the
Yeah.
path changes constantly. It's not static.
Yeah. So it could change throughout the course of your time with them. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, therapy is an evolving process,
Mm-hmm.
so it shouldn't, in my opinion, be stuck to just dialectical behavioral therapy or
Yeah.
cognitive behavioral therapy. I think it's a mistake that we're making in the behavioral health world. We're treating behavioral health like a science,
Mm.
just like we're treating it like medicine as a science. And
Yeah.
you really can't compact behavioral work into science with scientific studies, because you could write a research report saying this worked for this patient population and we saw X improvement in these benchmarks, but we're dealing with individuals on a soul level.
Yeah.
So I just don't really
Yeah.
follow.
Very personal and very individual.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. So when somebody first reaches out to you, what can they expect when they first reach out to you?
Okay, so I'm a solo practitioner, and it's going to stay that way. I hope I want it to stay that way, which is why if I don't feel like I have enough room to take care of someone, or if I feel that their care would be better suited to someone else, I will refer out, and I keep
Mm-hmm.
my caseload very, very small.
Mm-hmm.
And basically they call me and we'll have maybe a 20-minute, 30-minute consultation. I don't charge for the
Okay.
first time. And
Nice.
they'll tell me what's going on, and then I'll tell them my impressions and what I think, where we should get started, and what kind of things I offer. And then from there we set a first session, and then first session we decide, where it's going to go next.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's
So,
very old fashioned,
yeah.
non-formal, see as you go approach, which I think is appropriate for mental health.
Yeah, and especially as you were saying, being very personal, individual, and you're dealing with somebody's mental health. So, how did you first get interested and get started in doing this work?
So I got to give the credit to my husband.
Mm-hmm.
He always said I have the gift of gab,
Yeah.
and now I joke with him. I'm like, it's more important to be a good listener than a good speaker
Right.
when you're doing mental health.
We learn as we go, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's a midlife career change. I started taking classes actually when I was pregnant with my twins. They're now
Hmm.
18. Um,
Oh,
and I did them online. I did it at Walden University. There was no way that I was going to be able to do a land-based
yeah.
program just because I had little kids. I had another child after that. I needed to work to help pay bills because we live in New York and New York is expensive.
Yes,
So the
yes.
process took 13 years. I did take breaks here and there from taking
Hmm.
classes depending on what was going on. And I somehow graduated. I
Through
graduated.
all of that, you made it.
I did. And I did my dissertation during COVID.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that time is flying by, isn't it? 2026 already. Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, but I feel other people who are young are saying the same thing. It feels like time is not the same what it used to be. Like it
Yeah.
feels like the world is going in a direction where time is just speeding faster than it used to be. A day goes by much faster than when I was a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, sure feels like it. Or even for me, I mean, I would say time goes faster even from when I was in my 30s or my 40s. Yeah, just even a day, like you said. So out of everything that you do and all the different methods and modalities and the ways that you work with people, what do you feel like is the most maybe misunderstood or that there's the most misconceptions about?
I think trauma. There's not a person on the face of this planet that hasn't been traumatized.
Yeah.
And people, when they think trauma, they think sexual abuse, they think physical abuse, they think intergenerational sexual predatory abuse.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what trauma is. Trauma is hearing about, personally experiencing, or witnessing any kind of event that creates havoc in the nervous system. So, in other words, every single person in the world has been through trauma, especially COVID. COVID was
Yeah.
a collective trauma, but also there's been wars that have been going on in different parts of the world. And with the TVs and the computers and the internet, we all know about them.
Yeah.
So, I think that people underestimate that a lot of their troubles stem from trauma that they've been exposed to, which in turn affects their processing things that happen, their
Mhm.
their reactions within relationships, and that all is affected by trauma.
Yeah. Yeah. So trauma is something different than what a lot of people normally think of.
Remember, no two people experience the same trauma the same way, react to it differently, it affects them differently.
Yeah, and I imagine too, people can have the same thing happen, or like even siblings are going through the same thing in the same time, and their experience of it is completely different. Everybody experiences it individually. Yeah, so speaking of individually, do you ever work in groups or with couples or anything, or is it just one-on-one?
I would love to run a group.
Mhm.
It's just a lot of work to put
It
together
is.
the curriculum and then to recruit and then to keep people coming. And I did groups during my training years, and I just haven't gotten it together, if you want to call it, or just haven't had the motivation to start groups.
Yeah, so
If
maybe
I
in the
would do that,
future.
yeah, if I would do that, I would do it online. And it's not so easy to get people to be interested in doing it online. And it's also not the same quality and the same effect doing it online.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I'm not working with couples. I've taken coursework in marriage counseling, but I haven't been motivated or interested in
Yeah.
wanting to do couples work. I mostly work with people on an individual level, and the newest area of work that I'm doing, which is taking off, is doing autism assessments.
Yeah. So, what has surprised you most, if anything, about sort of making that shift or leaning more in that direction? What has surprised you the most?
I think that what I find the most interesting is that it's quite easy to diagnose autism. I think
Mm,
the criteria has really, really changed in the last 25 years since I started working with children in the school systems when I was in my 20s as an
mm-hmm.
OT. Now there's autism versus autism spectrum.
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing. And so I'm not going to say that I diagnose everybody with autism, but technically it's not so difficult. We could all be autistic in a way because it goes from high to low. The
Yeah.
theory of what autism is has changed. It's become looser, a little bit broader, and a lot of adults are discovering that they have autism and are and it, like they have that aha moment of like, oh, now it makes sense. Why?
Mm,
So
yeah.
mostly I'm working with young children, and with young children, it's a little bit easier because they haven't been through so many life experiences, and they're doing it because they need to get services at school, or they need ABA or whatever. So it's a little bit more defined than it is with adults.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know that you work mostly with children, but speaking of adults, how does that change their life? Having that aha moment and realizing, oh, things make sense now. Where do they go from there?
So I think I've diagnosed a few teenagers and young adults,
Mm-hmm.
and now they've changed the name to neurodivergent.
Yeah.
They don't really call it autism or ADHD anymore. They've clumped the
Oh,
two together and they call it neurodivergence. And a
okay.
lot of people like that because A, it's more telling of what's going on inside of them neurologically. It's also a lot less clinical.
Yeah.
It also helps them to piece together the events of their lives and the difficulties that they had, what they experienced when other people like couldn't understand. Why are you thinking like that? Like, why aren't you like getting it? Why aren't you normal?
Yeah.
It normalizes their entire life experience for them and helps them to self-embrace and self-direct themselves towards what they're naturally inclined and good at rather than focusing on trying to fit in.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they probably, like you said, other people have been saying things to them throughout their life, and they probably internalized that and thought, what's wrong with me? Or, they beat themselves up about it within their own mind and their head, and now it's like, oh, okay, good, good. Yeah, now I know what was going on, and it's not necessarily that I can't get it or I can't do this or that or understand this or that. Plus, I think with neurodivergence, it seems to me like it sounds more of like an umbrella term. It's more of like, oh, okay, I have this divergence going on within me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily this is what it is.
The
So,
truth is, most of us, all of us, are neurodivergent in some way.
yeah,
We're,
yeah,
we're
because
a body, which is a clump of fat and water and muscle and tissue, and we have a soul stuck in the middle of it, and we're supposed to somehow all be the same. I mean, seriously.
right. And all our life experiences, we pick up so much throughout our lifetime, our childhood, and then young adulthood, and all the different stages we go through. We pick up so much from those experiences. So, where is the best place for people to reach you if you want to mention? We are recording this in early June. It won't be out for another month. So, we were talking about a new Facebook page and a website that are kind of up and coming. So you want to give that information to people and anywhere else that might be good for people to reach out to you.
Sure. So my website is testherapy.com, and I'm going to be getting to my blog on there very, very soon.
Nice.
And I also have a content page on Facebook. It's Dr. Tamar Shtrambrand, PhD. And hopefully, I will be having lots of content starting in the next few weeks.
Yeah, great, great. We'll look for that. And I'll have those links below in the show notes and below the video for those on YouTube as well. So please check that out. So is there anything else that you want to make sure that people know or make sure that you share before we end this today?
Sure. I just want to tell people that we're in a very, very exciting time in history. It seems scary on the outside, especially when you watch the news. My recommendation is don't watch the news, but
Right?
there's a lot of disclosure happening in the news right now, and we're learning about a lot of ugly truths that were hidden from us. But we're also learning about who we are and who we're capable of being and who we were always meant to be. There's a huge surge now in desire for people to learn about healthy eating and getting away from modern medicine and focusing more on holistic healing, whether it be through meditation or Reiki or using herbs and acupuncture. And it's just phenomenal. It's a phenomenal time to be alive. We should be so excited, and therapy is a great part of the process because it is a holistic way of healing the soul. We need to heal our souls as much as possible, because in order to really appreciate the world that we're evolving into, we need to be healthy and happy and whole and united with our fellow humans.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Great message. Thank you for that. So thank you for being my guest. And everyone, let's learn and heal and grow together and share this out and check out the links below. So thanks again.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.